favorites. And on today's episode, it's going to be a great one because we are talking about party movies for the new year.
Yeah, happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Woo!
Yeah, that was more excitement than Dickey's movie.
Yep. Okay, well, you want to just get right into this? So we each have our favorites, and we're going to start off with my favorite because, you know, when you think about party movies, you think about Seth Rogen movies. You think about having a good time. You think about lots of drinking, lots of drugs, lots of craziness. Jake, what is...
None of his party movies have been, like, good.
What are you talking about? Seth Rogen makes fantastic.
He says Superbad, I'm throwing something at him. Because everyone always...
Superbad is so much fun.
Here you go.
Pineapple Express. But my favorite Seth Rogen party movie is This Is the End. Because it is ridiculous. It is over the top. It's not stupid.
And it is not funny.
So much fun. I had so much fun with it. I can't believe you two think it is not funny. Because it is great.
Do you want to start?
This movie is the death of comedy. When I watched, there were times
it is the laziest thing I have ever seen. And I watched New Guy and enjoyed it.
Oh, I like New Guy way better than this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
New Guy was oh boy, I'm going to use it. Was charming at time for outside of the problematic and weird and stuff. This was actually like New Guy was actually like there were parts I was like, yeah, I like this. I recognize this is pretty decent. This has no redeeming qualities.
What?
Nothing.
It is just
They
fun.
couldn't even bother to write, like, characters.
They don't. Well, I know that's. Well, it's
they themselves are apparently not characters.
They're riffing on themselves. They're riffing on Hollywood.
Are they riffing? I think they're just playing themselves.
Yeah.
That's showing us that they are terrible people.
That's the whole point.
So why do I care?
They're just like, hey guys.
Yeah. Why do I care? They're showing me something I already knew.
Because it's fun to watch horrible people do stupid things. That's the
in half an hour chunks.
I can watch. It kept switching it up, and it kept it interesting.
Also, I can never forgive the movie for implying that Jason Segel is a bad person and that he would go to hell. Yeah, or Paul Rudd. I
think it's just all of Hollywood. They're like I said, they're really just riffing on that. And come on, this is so much. I will say, I love the.
I'm looking at the poster for it right now. Yep, he's annoying. He's annoying.
Yep.
He's annoying.
Danny McBride.
He's annoying.
I can't
actually
love
that they made Danny McBride the villain in this because he was.
That's the only thing he plays. I don't dislike Danny McBride, but everything I've seen him in, that's how he acts, and it annoys me.
It is very annoying
because it's one of those people. It's like, why do you act like that? Why are you like this? What good are you?
Yeah,
it's like, why do you exist? Like this character, it's like all you do is hurt people around you, and not in a funny way, not in any kind of way that like makes me like it entertains me because it's supposed to be entertaining. It's just like,
he's just a jerk.
Please just go away. I don't like this. Is unpleasant.
And then he ended up eating James Franco in the end.
Yeah.
So
yeah, see, because that's really funny.
Like, screw you, McBride. I'm going to heaven. Like it's kind of.
Why is that funny though?
It's funny to see him like just be completely vain and just like screw it.
That's the whole movie.
Yeah,
I know.
It's the entire. It's all
funny.
of them. No one really like
Jay. Jay is like the only slightly redeemable, and even then.
Listen. Hiccup is the most endearing person on the planet. Yes. I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad for him because I'm like, he's right. Why are you? They're couples, like.
Well, and then it's revealed. Oh, Jay was in L.A. He doesn't hate it as much as he says. Okay.
Yeah. So
why are you mad at him about that? What sense does it make?
Or how about when he's like talking to Craig about like the revelation thing, and then like someone overhears them. And then later they like bring it up. I think Danny hears them, right?
Yeah.
Brings it up,
and
I was like, "What? So what? They're talking about the Book of Revelations and what's happening. What is the big?" Now, if it was he overheard them saying like, "Let's both split off," a classic movie thing, I'd be like, "At least that makes sense." Mm-hmm. This didn't make any sense. Like, I heard them talking about all this stuff, and then they act like it's this big deal. It's like, what is the conflict? There's nothing.
Well, they just thought they were teaming up against them, and
that's not even implied. It's just like they were talking about this.
Yeah, they were literally just talking about what was happening. Well, they made no plan to do anything.
Yeah, they made no statement. Anyone,
and the others just kind of like, nah.
I don't
big baby, big dumb baby.
I don't know.
And then there are times where the jokes, quote unquote, I use that term loosely. It's not a joke. It's just extended talking. It felt like Family Guy jokes.
What?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Like Danny McBride pleasuring himself all over the house.
That is so funny.
No, it's not.
It went on for like 5 minutes.
It was so ridiculous and over the top.
It's not even ridiculous. He's just being a big baby and he's gross. And then James Franco's like, stop doing that. And he's like, no, I'm going to keep doing it. And then they just keep going, okay, I guess a 5-year-old could find this funny. Sure. Comedy is subjective. And then they keep going. It's like, this isn't even a joke anymore. They're just arguing. It's not even funny. It's nothing. It's nothing. It was making me mad. I'm like, can we just keep going? Like why do we have to linger on this? When it doesn't start funny and you spend 5 minutes just yelling the same funny word over and over. This is a Family Guy joke.
I don't know. I got a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Because you like Family Guy.
I actually do not like Family Guy.
Why? It's your style of humor.
I don't know. Family Guy just does it. It takes things a touch too far, and this one didn't. I know.
Multiple rape jokes, especially when one of your main characters is in a lot of trouble for that kind of stuff.
I know.
And has been canceled.
Yes.
Because he's kind of a terrible person.
And that's
there are jokes in this movie a year before this all started for him.
That's literally what
That's uncomfortable. That's way more uncomfortable than anything.
That's how.
Guy.
Can I bring up what we were talking about before the camera started rolling?
Sure.
Are we okay? So just to pull back the curtain a little bit, when we were planning these party movies, Dickey had originally picked Animal House. After these two had watched it, we decided that we did not want to talk about that because of how
certain problematic things in it are taken to a very uncomfortable place.
How poorly it has aged in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
For the second movie in a row, Dickey manages to pick a movie in which there is a significant and uncomfortable rape joke.
It's because there is a completely different lens put on this movie than there was on Animal House.
Having not seen Animal House, I will believe you. But still.
That's what I'm saying. This is, and I know Animal House is also not meant to be like taken like very seriously, but the way they told the jokes in This Is the End compared to Animal House is they kind of did It's Always Sunny at Philadelphia. And I know I keep going back to that show a lot because it is one of my favorite shows. And
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is funny.
Well, I think this is doing the very similar thing that It's Always Sunny does. Is that it's taking horrible people, making them do horrible things. And that is entertaining to watch.
Yeah, but you say horrible people doing horrible things, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they actually do horrible things. These guys are just kind of annoying when they talk.
I know, which they
don't actually do horrible things.
And it would have been actually more fun to see them do the horrible things than just talking about it. But it's also funny because
not all of the horrible things they're talking about.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. But no, but it's also entertaining to see that it's just the celebrities that we know them just playing themselves. I haven't seen that played out that often in too many other movies, and I think that's
because it's lazy.
I don't know. I just think it's an interesting take.
I bet you wrote this in a day.
Probably,
dude. They probably barely even wrote it. You realize that
you're making our point for us.
They probably just set up scenes and just had like
improvise.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's probably
maybe that's why it's not funny.
I
don't know. I think sometimes, and I know it's easy to rag on A lot of times improv can be stupid and not funny. But I think sometimes it really can be funny. AKA look at Whose Line Is It Anyway? Those guys are really talented improvers.
Yes, but they're professional improvers.
And I'm not saying these guys are as talented as Whose Line, because they're obviously not. But I think they're still fun in it. I think they're still fun in
fact,
I'm just trying
I think the only two that did any kind of zany thing.
No, they just sat in the house.
Franco and the dude that you don't like.
Danny McBride.
Yeah. They're the only ones that I would consider zany.
I remember there's a specific moment where Franco's doing his 127 hours video diary thing, and I gave a little... That was the extent of that laugh. Okay, I was like, okay, that's funny on paper, I guess. This is okay. And then he's talking about how much he hates Danny, and Danny walks up behind it. I'm like, oh, okay, they're setting up this age-old joke. And then he just turns around and says, hey, Danny. He goes, hey. And that was the scene. And it ended. I go, oh, that was it?
Yeah, you want to hear the one time I laughed in the movie?
Yeah.
Right after they got everybody got raptured up. And everything comes crashing down. Mm-hmm. The air conditioner falls on the clerk lady in the store. And I went, and that was it for the entire 2 freaking hours.
I chuckled.
Hours, is it?
It's 107 minutes. So it's not 2 hours.
No, that's what I thought. It
felt like it. It felt like it.
It did not feel.
It felt longer than Return of the King.
Oh my. It does not.
I chuckled a little at Aziz and Sari hanging on. Like, you're already in the hole. No, I'm not. I go, okay, that's kind of funny.
Are you telling me that this, everybody dying wasn't entertaining? Like, it's funny to see them.
No,
all
it wasn't, because I saw Jason Segel and my heart rose, and then it implied that he died, and I was like, this.
You know what would have been a better movie? If the world ended, but not everyone didn't die. Like, a whole bunch of them were still... Because I thought the movie was going to be...
You know what?
The whole party is still in the house, and then they're all in that house, a bunch of people. But when it boils down to... 6 people we don't care about? It's like...
And mind you, 5 people that really aren't that bad. When they start talking about the bad things that they do, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I think it's just yeah. I will give you this. It's an easy thing to make fun of, like the celebrity culture. That's an easy thing to make fun of. So they took the.
It's like they think we're stupid. They do think we're stupid.
They do think we're stupid.
We are stupid sometimes.
Everyone's stupid sometimes, but it's like they're insulting us as an audience.
It's like
see, you're gonna laugh at this because this is like lowest common denominator, baseline, simple, unfinished movie that you're gonna.
You know what was a better movie?
The World's End?
The World's End.
Way better.
Yes, it is.
Way better.
Listen, I'm not saying there's better movies. Obviously, The World's End is better. Obviously, there's other movies that are, what should I say, not as crass. Like it's not as offensive. And I don't know. This is fun. It's fun to laugh at sometimes.
I don't know. Some things can be funny crass, and this is just kind of dumb.
It is dumb, and like I said, I recognize. Listen. I'm not calling this like a good movie. I don't know, The Godfather or anything, but it
might be the Godfather of Judd Apatow movies, though, or Seth Rogen movies. Sorry.
No, I'm sure. I know they're. If I'm looking at all Seth Rogen movies,
Monsters vs. Aliens. I'd rather watch Monsters vs. Aliens than this.
At least Monsters vs. Aliens is just nothing, and this is aggressively annoying.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you two feel. I think this is.
You can like whatever you want to like.
A lot of this movie is probably one of the big reasons why a lot of modern mainstream comedies suck, because these aren't jokes. Well, let's just reference something or someone and just throw it there and say that's the joke. Like, hey, look, there's so and so. Ah ha ha, that's funny once in a while, but it's the whole.
So it's Thor: Love and Thunder 9 years early.
Yeah, kind of. Except I'd rather watch that than this.
But even like this Letterboxd review right here, this top one, they're just quoting the Exorcist scene. The power of Christ compels. Oh, does it? Does it compel me?
Is it compelling, Jane? Like, that's such a funny scene. I love it.
Why?
Why was it?
Because it's ridiculous and it's stupid and
it's not even that ridiculous. He's just repeating the lines back to him with that voice. It's like, what is the joke?
They're
referencing The Exorcist.
Yeah.
And then they even went to the length of putting The Exorcist of Jonah Hill.
I go, okay.
Are we a different movie
it's
now?
Just so over the top and so campy and so random.
It's not even that over the top.
It does feel over the top to me.
It doesn't even feel it because I'm just like, it's just a bunch of a-holes sitting in a house yelling at each other. And it's not even like fun.
Yeah, but it's such a bizarre in the.
It's not that bizarre.
This is a bizarre movie.
Not
Are you
really.
telling me the end scene is with the giant?
That is the
You
most,
know what I'm referencing.
That is the most bizarre part.
It reminded me of Moon Knight.
What?
Oh,
The big thing at the end with the night sky. I go, this looks a lot like the end of Moon Knight.
I'm talking about the specific bodily part.
you mean how we see the devil's penis?
Yeah.
Actually, twice in that movie.
That scene with Jonah Hill is. How is that funny?
It's horrifying and it's.
But it's not like
stupid.
scary. It's just gross.
It's gross and it's dumb.
Is it even gross? It's just dumb.
Listen, I don't know. I got entertainment from this. I knew you two would probably hate it. So it
You
was
succeeded.
Another example of like it's not even a joke. It's just nothing. Is when and you know what I'm gonna say is when they're outside. So it's the whole that joke outside when Emma Watson's trying to sleep.
Yeah.
And then Danny McBride's like, I want to talk to her because I want to talk to Hermione about Harry
About
Potter
Harry
because
Potter
I love Harry Potter. And then he keeps bringing it up, and James Franco goes, "Shut up, Dumbledore." I knew he was gonna laugh. It's like I remember sitting there. I paused it. I stared at my
the
screen.
joke. I'm laughing at Dickey laughing
I
at
know.
the joke.
I just stared there. I paused it. I go, "That's a joke." It's like, yes. Let's see. Harry Potter. People know Dumbledore's a character. Let me just call Danny McBride Dumbledore because he likes Harry Potter. It's like. And I'm like, that's not even a joke. It's just making a reference to make certain people laugh. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. That's absolutely what it is.
What is
Wow.
the joke?
It works like I don't know. I know
13.5 thousand people give this 5 stars.
There you go. I am one of. I haven't rated, so you can bump that up one. I'll rate it on Letterboxd as we speak. But okay,
Hold on, I think I'm having
And
a
to think
stroke.
this made so much more money than The World's End just hurts. When that is a way better movie.
It's such a better movie.
Okay, so for you guys, let's move on to some better movies, okay? Or your picks.
Do you have anything else to say?
Unless you have
real
anything
quick
else
about this thing.
Can you see how I can like it or no?
Yes, I can see how you can like it.
Because you laugh at everything.
But
Yeah.
I think it confuses me that you call it zany. It is very mundane for what it is.
Yeah, I was kind of bored.
Yeah.
Because I'm just sitting there. I thought this would be a whole party during the end of the world where they're all turning on each other or something like that, but it's just the 6 of them in the house, and that's it. And
I watched it on my phone, and I'm not kidding here. I checked it probably every 15 minutes or so to see how much time was left, and went, damn. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, so this is my personal worldview here. The whole end scene where they're in heaven. I was like,
so and then bring back the Backstreet Boys.
I was like,
Backstreet's back.
I was like, so that is the most random and zany thing in that movie.
Oh yeah.
And it probably is the best-ish part.
yeah, it gets a good chuckle.
My God,
Yeah.
we're back again.
But in the back of my head, that part of my brain is going, is that kind of sacrilegious? I mean, I know.
What, the Backstreet Boys?
No,
Yeah.
like the whole like.
I don't think you can go into this movie thinking sacrilegious because I don't think they care.
That's true.
No, I was gonna say
That's true.
They do not.
I don't know if that's really a mindset you want to be in when you're watching this.
I mean, it didn't even really happen until that end part where I was like, really? Really? Okay. But
Anyway, okay, let's move on to whose pick are we doing next? I don't remember.
Let's do Jake.
Let's do Jake's
I don't know.
pick.
That was the
All
next
right.
tab.
I mean,
Jake.
yours is probably the best movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yours is much better than his.
Mine is much
It is.
more
It has-
akin to yours.
It has more of a plot. But Jake, what is your favorite party movie?
I picked probably one of the more famous Comedy Central daytime movies. Can't Hardly Wait.
That's why I never saw it.
This is exactly the type of movie that I would watch when I was homesick from school.
Solid.
You couldn't hardly wait.
Oh yeah,
to turn on that TV to Comedy Central in the middle of the day to watch.
I do have to say, going back and watching an older movie with Jennifer Love Hewitt in it. I almost said Jennifer Lawrence. Oh my goodness,
it's not Jennifer Lawrence.
I was like, why were we all so obsessed with her? She's kind of stiff.
Yeah. She's pretty. That's why everyone thought she was really pretty.
But is she? In that movie, in subsequent movies, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But in that movie, anyway, this is not about whether or not Jennifer. I almost did it again. Jennifer Love Hewitt is pretty.
Of course she is.
Yes,
but
everyone is pretty.
Yes.
What was I going to say about it? I don't remember.
Seth Green with his I just him just okay.
But here's the thing: we were all alive. You were 3 and I was 4, so we weren't aware. But that just screams that time of these country white boys trying to be like that, and it's like oh man.
So for those
for
those unaware, Can't Hardly Wait is a movie about people. High school seniors that have graduated going to a party at, I don't even remember the girls' names.
I'll be really honest.
She doesn't have a name. It's like part of the girls whose house is the party.
I was going to say, I don't even remember the characters. It's a house party. It's a high school house party.
High school house party. It's a high school house party. And the entire thing is, similar to.
It's your classic like American Pie.
Just
like,
hijinks. But so, you talk about those things with, oh gosh, wasn't it Seth Green?
Mm-hmm.
I watch that and I go, I remember people being like this. This kind of makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Oh no. And then you kind of hear like the conversations in the background. Like a lot of what I was doing this watch through is listening to people's conversations in the background. You're,
God.
Oh no. What did he just say? Oh no. What did they just say? And then you start thinking about it like, oh no, that was on par for my time, wasn't it?
The one thing, one big thing that for most of this movie, I'm like, I'm really enjoying this. This is actually pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that really, really dates it and holds it back are all the gay jokes.
Oh yeah,
one or two is expected in a '90s movie like this. Like, but it's like
at the end when the dude's calling the other guy the slur.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the slur's everywhere.
But oh my! But goodness. Like that time when he said it, I was like, "Holy crap!"
It's
not good.
It's definitely sits. But this is what
a couple moments are not okay, but at least you're like, okay, it's from that time. It's gonna happen, but for how much it's in there, it becomes a distraction. It's like
part of me wonders if when I watched it on Comedy Central or FX, if they edited that out and in my head it was something different.
They might have, honestly. And they definitely would have touched it up for cable. But I will say my absolute favorite part of the movie is, and I can't remember, I'm so mad I don't remember the character's name, but it's the character that went there to screw over the bully. And he ends up getting trashed.
Yeah, that's Charlie Korsmo. That's the actor's name.
Okay.
You've seen him probably in Hook.
I probably would have.
Yeah, that's the thing I know him from mainly. He is so funny.
This movie makes me really happy because it's when he's unabashedly himself, when he's just jamming out to Guns N' Roses, getting down. Everybody loves him.
He leaves his friends on the roof of the pool.
That is a dick move. Yes, he should not have.
Well, he didn't. He got drunk.
He didn't do it intentionally.
Well, I know. Which stinks, but it's still
beer. Yes, would you like one? Oh, so funny. It's like he just spits it right back.
I just love how like he was like very like anxious, and then once he starts jamming out, like everyone gets like that just makes me happy. And it's like, yeah, let's go. Like unabashedly being yourself gets you places. That just makes me happy. It just made me happy. So sorry. I just mess around.
So the thing that I thought I read one reviewer say that kind of undermines itself in the movie is how like Jennifer Love Hewitt, she blows up at what is my character? Preston. So she blows up at Preston. That's his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because everyone as she's walking out of the house is like hitting on her, like, "Hey, you're available," and it's like you can feel her frustration. And Preston has had this like imaginary romance with her for years, and now he finally has his chance, and she blows up at him, and I was like, yeah. He doesn't deserve that, really. You know, it's unfortunate. But then again, it's like she's kind of right where he doesn't really know her. He saw her twice in one day, fell in love with her, and then just has been pining after her. And he still gets her, even though he's kind of a bit of a creep about it. Yeah, I remember just thinking about that. It's like, yeah, that's an interesting point of she calls out a trope like that where it's like the underdog guy who's just pined for someone like that and then gets them. She kind of calls it out for what it is. And I was like, that's actually pretty good. And then they, they're going to get together in that last scene. And it's like, it kind of undermines that whole part for her because she's right.
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking this like could have been like a really like strong ending if he just would have left and not came back. Like, I think that would have been.
But of course, you got to cater to the feel good nature of it and to make money and all that. Because they're right. That ending where if he he takes a shot and she shoots him down because she calls him out and he grows from that in a way. It's like, that's actually pretty good.
Right, that seems like a really, really good, like, I really, like.
Again, he's been a little
But then she reads the letter. Which.
No, she read the letter earlier.
No.
Right? But she didn't know she knew it was from him, but she didn't know who he was.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Remember, the letter gets to her. That was actually kind of funny how, like, it's
I know, that
classic
was like a little
thing. It's basically like if you took that, simplified it 1,000,000,000% and put it on a roll of crap, it'd be the Lion King 2019 with that piece of fur.
Wow,
that was a slow roll.
Wow.
It was about 10 minutes of the movie. Just slowly rolling.
But I had managed to forget about that. Thank you.
I can't believe that just.
But I mean, that's a 2-hour movie. It's like, why is this 40 minutes longer than the original? Oh, so we can watch crap roll across the Sahara.
No, it was
not
fur,
the Sahara,
not
the Serengeti. There we go. Man, it was funnier to see Sahara. I think it's Serengeti. Oops. I went to the Dickey School of Geography.
Quick, what continent is Madagascar a part of?
It's not on the continent. It's an island.
Not on the continent. It is an island.
For all you newcomers out there, that is a very, very deep cut. You should go back and watch our That Works series to figure that out.
But I was saying, so she gets the letter, and when she reads it, and it has the name on it. Good grief.
Sorry.
So she reads it and reads his name, but she doesn't even know who he is. So that kind of feeds into he hasn't even talked to her. He's just glanced at her from afar. And it is kind of creepy. It's like
it's very
like
creepy.
I feel like a lot of people have done that where you like someone from afar, but the extent he's taken this to is like I don't think it's a problem necessarily, but it's a little creepy.
I have a question. Did we ever actually hear the entirety of what's on his letter?
I don't think we did.
Okay,
that's okay.
I was just curious. I was curious.
Yeah.
I was just.
Well, he
curious.
doesn't even know. They make a point of saying that several times. He doesn't even know what it says anymore.
He wrote it a while ago, right? I couldn't remember.
And he rewrote it, and he rewrote it, and he rewrote it, and he rewrote it.
Yeah.
Actually, now I think about it, it is a little creepy. It's like how much he's in love with this person, and he never even talked to her. He doesn't know her at all, and it's like. Well,
I related to him in that in my youth. I was a love.
You were a ravenous creature, weren't you?
I mean.
It's like a garter snake over here.
No, that's
He
more
may
like,
bite you, but it doesn't hurt very
that's
much.
more like
What are you doing?
trying to do the thing with my tongue.
What, the Hannibal Lecter thing?
No.
Okay, because I just saw you go...
Like the snake thing with the tongue.
I'm a snake. I'm a
snake. Snake.
I can't do it either, but I didn't even try.
Dickey, are you okay? Anyway, speaking as a bleeding heart romantic from my youth.
Are you still a bleeding heart romantic?
No, I'm cold and callous now.
But you were saying...
You write random things for girls that, you barely talk to. They're just not appreciated.
No.
Oh, wait, Jake, wait a minute. You're saying if you write a bunch of mushy gushy stuff for someone you've never even talked to and they read it, they don't like that? It's almost like they have feelings. And they don't appreciate being pined after like some kind of Greek goddess idol.
Well, that is, of course, unless you have an interlude.
Is this coming from the heart?
I'm so
It was a, yeah.
Dickey, what were you going to say?
He doesn't know he's trying to process.
That's all right. Let's help him. No, it's funnier. It's like he's starting to talk, but he has a little bit of a lisp. Like the. So I thought you were gonna say something. You just like that. I was just like, what is he doing?
Sorry, I think my brain just broke in half there for a second. Oh my gosh. What's I gonna say? I don't remember.
Were you gonna say anything?
I don't know.
The band was funny.
Where are we going? Oh, the band! The band was great.
That's when Donald Faison.
So Donald Faison was the drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And was it Brecken Mayer? What is it? Mayer? I'm looking. I just lost it. He was the lead singer, right?
Who was the one that was trying to push all the merch? Trying to get everyone to wear it?
That was the lead guy.
That was the lead guy. He was funny. He was great in this.
I can't find it. It was Brecken Mayer, wasn't it?
It's definitely one of those movies where you look around and you see a lot of faces that you know from like later movies or earlier movies, but you don't know their name.
It's definitely it's like one of the early movies that everybody did that you all just forget about because like no one even remembers.
Yeah, well, Melissa Joan Hart shows up.
I know, it's my favorite.
Yeah,
she's another movie that Jake picks that has Jerry O'Connell in a small role. Because the new guy, remember, he and his brother were in it, but this was just Jerry.
Were they the ones that broke Tony Hawk's skateboard over his head?
And the new guy,
Yep. Okay.
That was the best part of the movie. I will say, remember, there's the whole Barry Manilow thing in this, and
so weird.
Well, and then they say like, because they play Mandy, and then it's like we're gonna play this game because it's Barry Manilow's birthday, and I go, hey. Barry Manilow has the same birthday as me. This takes place on my birthday. Therefore, this is a good movie.
There you go. All right.
I thought that was cool. It's like, it's Barry Manilow. Oh, hey, that's me. Let's see. Takes place in 98 too, apparently. So I was four on that day.
Also, I find that I totally misremembered the angel scene.
Oh, what did you originally?
What's her name? Jenna Elfman, that's right.
Yep.
I didn't misremember it.
Had you ever seen this before?
No, so I can't misremember it. I didn't even remember it.
There you go.
I have a lot to remember. Anything else about this one?
It's a fun, harmless movie.
It is. Yeah, there's one part. It's just a good time.
Well,
there's one part that it's like it's uncomfortable, but it is a little funny, and that's when one of Seth Green's boys walks up to that group of guys and says a word he shouldn't say. And they chase after him. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
where it's like
yeah, that was.
but also it's kind of funny, but also
Yeah,
because I get what they're saying is
And no, no,
you're totally a fake and you
funny.
can't do that, but also it's so
it's funny, but it's like
ooh. Oh.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
When this came out, it was in 98.
Yeah.
God, what a time to be alive.
Seth Green and I keep saying Seth Green. He has a character name, so it's Denise. Denise is the girl, and then Kenny stuck in the bathroom.
Yeah, you knew like the minute that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what they're doing.
So this is might be a hot take. Might be.
Oh.
This movie is a better representation of what I remember from high school than what The Breakfast Club was.
Ooh, well, that also makes sense because I think the Breakfast
This was closer to you when
Yeah,
you were in high school.
that's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say because this would have been in the 90s then.
I wasn't in high school in the 90s. It was like 2000.
Oh, okay, close enough. All right.
What do I look like? My sister?
Yeah,
Maybe, actually, kind of.
we all do a little bit, but anyway,
A little bit.
don't.
Do I dare tell the story?
I don't really.
Do you want me to tell the story?
If you
No,
want to.
no, it's up to you.
Sure.
This is. Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So. I'm only saying
sorry,
this because
Dickey, I started this.
You gave me an okay on this.
Yeah.
Dickey went on a trip and took a bunch of very nice pictures, and they're pictures of him as well. There's a picture I think your dad had took of everyone else in the group.
Sounds about right.
I may have made a remark about something about you, like what do you wear, or like what do you wear right there? And I pointed, and he goes, "That's my sister." I go, oh. Because you look very, very much alike.
I know we're getting down into a little bit of a tangent, but we literally did a face swap a couple years ago.
Oh, no.
You remember when those face swaps were really popular?
Yes.
Could you even tell the difference?
No. It was the same person. It was really funny. But anyway. Let's move on to the next pick. All right, Jared. Another good one. I mean, we got all of us had
2 out of 3.
picks.
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. 66%. Right?
60. Yeah. 7 if you round up. If you don't keep going.
No, you don't round up.
So anyway, Jared, what's your pick?
I'd say what my dad says about rounding up, but it's not appropriate.
What?
Well, something else stuck. No, that's Dazed and Confused. Richard Linklater, 1993. One of those ultimate hangout movies. There's not really a much of a plot because it's just spending 20 to 24 hours in the lives of these high schoolers in the summer of 1976. As you have hazing rituals and a lot of drinking and drugs, this big party in the woods at the end, and hanging out in the middle of a football field at 5 a.m.
That scene at the football field was so good. Oh my god,
the whole thing is just. I remember this is the second time I've watched this, and I had a smile on my face the whole time. So like I remember how the movie works and certain scenes, but I had forgotten a lot of it just because you remember the highlights, and then as it's like the way it weaves around, it's like this is just fun.
Yeah,
this is just a nice laid back time.
That's what and I'm trying to remember how long is this? Like
102 minutes.
Yeah,
it feels like paced literally like for the fact that there is no plot whatsoever. It is perfect. Like it moves like it's paced perfectly. Like I blink and it's over. Like it was so easy to watch.
And and it's one of the things Jake brought up. There are a lot of characters, and it is something where I feel like on rewatches you can recognize characters easier and get more out of them because it does
it's a
make
lot
it
to digest the first time.
Yeah, that's how it was for me because I was like, I really like this, but then kind of forgot about it. Other than I've seen that, and then this time I was like, no, I legitimately love this. There's a lot to pay attention to, and the thing that keeps it all together, similar to like American Graffiti. Is the soundtrack.
Oh my god! I should have wrote down because I had a good chunk of notes. I should have wrote down how many songs. Like I came like, this song is in this movie. This song is in this movie. Let's go! And I'm just bouncing around, just enjoying this. Like, yeah.
And a detail is he made sure that all the songs, do predate when the movie takes place, but predate the day it's on or the month that it's in. Like nothing, making sure nothing that's in the soundtrack came out after the summer of '76, or specifically like June when school gets out, because he wanted to make sure these are songs they're listening to on the radio at this time.
Super cool.
Or stuff that's even a little bit older. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that he put that. I love that much detail in it. That's so awesome.
Linklater, it's weird because I don't want to jump to call him underrated, because he's had a lot of exposure for a long time as an independent filmmaker. A lot of people are aware of him. Mm-hmm. And it's not like he's underrated. He's gotten a lot of praise. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate how he tends to try to push storytelling in the medium. Because, something like this isn't necessarily pushing it super far. It's a hangout movie. And then you have, Waking Life, which I believe the freshman kid main character is, the main character of that.
Oh, he's the Boyhood director.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was just going to jump, because Waking Life is vignettes. This is vignettes, but vignettes of different dreams and how people talk about things. Then you have Boyhood, which is filmed over 12 years. Which it's had its criticisms about, if you take that, gimmick out of it, it's kind of just a basic movie. But I still think it's a pretty good movie.
Scanner Darkly, too.
Yep, I've never seen that one.
Don't forget.
It's good.
Don't forget, Richard Linklater directed the ever classic School of Rock.
Yep.
I was trying to avoid talking about that one.
What?
I love School of Rock.
It's so good.
I'm just so tired of it.
Yeah, another thing where when it comes out, Dickey, we are 8 and 9, and we grow into it and watch it and love it. Jake is in high school when that comes out, and everyone quotes it and ruins it for him. So that you got the generation.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it and I have it. And when it came out first, I listened to that soundtrack nonstop, especially since that might have been what made me want to learn how to play bass.
That's
definitely
part of the reason I want to learn how to play guitar.
No, I learned before that.
But
also another one of your I don't want to say favorite movies, Jared, but one that you talk highly of, the Bad News Bears remake.
Really?
It's one of those things where I've seen both versions, and I wouldn't call either of them. I don't even know if they're good movies, but I connected to that remake a lot more than the original because it came out when I was in Little League. So that's my own personal connection. But I do think there's just something that works better, at least for me, in that remake. I think they're about on par with each other, but it's a rare example of I prefer the remake.
Well, that's fair.
It is surprising that Linklater remade that. Not that I don't know him, but just looking at things he's made, it's I just wonder why he wanted to. Maybe he just wanted to. Maybe he loved the original and wanted to make it.
He just had an interesting take on it, and he just thought, "Hey, why not?" Because I just like his vibes and just the way, especially just going back to just Dazed and Confused. It's such a vibey movie. He's such a good. It just. I don't know, it's vibe. Like I said, it's just easy to just set yourself into the period and the time zone, just get into it and just all right, this is just what's going on. It's just an easy going.
Yeah, he has another movie that's similar that came out in 20, what years I had to collect to make sure. 16 called Everybody Wants Some, 2 exclamation points in that. Just wanted to bring it. And it's just a group of friends. I think they play, it's in the summer. It looks like the 70s. I've never seen it. I'd like to. It's just them hanging out. They're baseball players hanging out. They might be in college. That's the whole movie. It's just this laid back 2-hour hangout movie.
This one right here, Before Midnight, Before Sunset, and Before Sunrise.
Oh, Before
Is that
Trilogy.
a trilogy?
I've heard of it. Before Trilogy is really good.
It's fantastic. Each movie is 9 years apart from the other one.
Okay.
And that's an in-universe thing. Because the first one, another thing of him, the different narrative styles he does. Because the first one is Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. They meet on a train and they walk around, I think it's Vienna, for a night. That's it. They just talk. The second one, which is, in my opinion, the best one, it's 88 minutes. They're walking around Paris. They meet up 9 years later and they just walk around Paris in real time, just having one long conversation. And then the third one is 9 years after that. They're in Greece and it's a little bit different than the other two. And it's the weakest, but it's still really good. And again, it's just one long conversation, mostly. The first two are mostly one long conversation. The third one is a little different, but it's a great trilogy. I've not watched any of them in a long time. I need to rewatch. Linklater has a lot of movies.
Yeah, he really.
And I saw, what was it? Bernie, which has Jack Black, where it's like half mockumentary, half like not documentary, because it's real. It's like it's a real person, and they interview real people, but then they have like Jack Black and Shirley MacLaine play out what really like it's. I don't know if it's good, but it was interesting, and Jack Black is very good in it.
Jack Black is awesome, so I would watch.
So
that
there's just he's made a lot of movies. He made a movie this year.
He's only got like 35, 33 movies.
Wow.
Yeah, this year he had.
How old is he now?
Oh man, I'm gonna guess he's born in the 60s.
Because I'm curious as to.
Does not tell me on here.
Because he's been pushing out movies a while.
62. He was born the same year as my dad.
So he's 60 then.
No, he is 62. He was born in 60.
Oh, okay.
I know. Yeah. This year he came out with a movie called Apollo 10 and a Half.
That was this year?
Yeah.
What?
I think it's Netflix. It's rotoscoped. That's the thing. He does a lot because, like, Scanner Darkly is a rotoscope movie. Waking Life has a lot of sequences of rotoscope. You know, the majority of it is rotoscope, and then this one is rotoscoped. Which, rotoscope is weird because it has this potential. For those who don't know, that's when you trace live action footage. So it's animated, but it's just you're tracing. Not that it's easy. It's just that's why it has this kind of surreal, sometimes uncanny valley look. It's weird because it's really good at that like trippy surreal feel, but it can really easily get creepy.
Yeah.
Scanner Darkly is a little creepy that way, but it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah. When Waking Life is supposed to be just this disjointed vignette filled like dream thing, so of course it's supposed to feel otherworldly. It's got this very jagged like it's got a very jagged look, so frame to frame things are just kind of moving like that. So it's very, very. I think I should watch it again. I liked it fine. I watched it last year for the first time, but I feel like on a rewatch, maybe I'd wrap my head around it better.
This is a question completely aside from this movie. Is Flea rotoscoped?
Yes.
Okay.
Mostly. I think there are sequences of it that they didn't shoot in live action, but I think some of the interview stuff to protect identities animated over the live action, I believe, or they just straight up animated using, you know what I mean? I don't know if it was rotoscope for sure.
Anyway, back to Dazed and Confused.
Oh, we were talking about that. That's
I really want. So I broke my nose because I wanted to.
You broke your nose?
No, I broke out my notes because I wanted.
It looks fine to me. It's really little.
It's so cute. I just want to push it like a button. Boop.
Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us about your notes.
I'm trying to remember. Ben Affleck was in this movie.
He played that role perfect.
Oh, I didn't even realize it was him until that lady pulled the shotgun on him.
As soon as he popped up, I'm like, is that why is he trying to beat this kid with a bat? That's the entire thing.
It wasn't a bat.
It wasn't. Oh, no, it was a
paddle.
switch. It wasn't right. It was a paddle.
A switch is a stick. It was a paddle.
Do you know what a switch is?
Yeah, isn't it just the thing you guys do?
No, it's a Nintendo thing.
Jared, we're in the 70s, not 2017.
So the thing with the paddling, the hazing, Jake, you want to start this?
Okay.
Why is that one the thing we're gonna do? Like,
let Jake start.
So I am going to totally admit that I am biased in this because I was in that group that would have been hazed.
That would have been or would be doing it? That
would have been. It really bugged me. And while I understand that it is just a part of the period, and it's not glorifying it, but it's such a major part of the movie that it just bugged me a bit.
It just looked like I don't. It's a good movie, like it really is. But like I was so confused, like why was that ever a thing in this? Like why was that a thing?
But they were just so obsessed with it, and even like I think what the girls were doing to the other girls was worse. Oh, like, they were putting like collars on them and like.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you're
and then like the one girl proposing to the dude in the green shirt. I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name.
Tony. He's like, what would you do for me? Oh, anything. And then he made her do the weird thing with her mouth.
Oh, wait. You talking about the... Didn't Tony, like, he was nicer to her, right?
Tony was the blonde one with the glasses?
Yeah. Because remember, she went to someone else first.
Yeah, the other guy is who I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know his name. I know. That's the thing. There are so many people. I felt like I couldn't catch anyone's name.
Yeah, I don't remember any.
The only one that I remember is Matthew McConaughey as Woodson. Or Woodster.
It was Wooderson.
Okay.
Oh, the main quote unquote character is Randall, or they call him Pink because his last name is Floyd.
Pink, right, yeah.
And then the other main character would be, what is his name? I think it's Wyatt.
Also, maybe it was more of a thing in the 70s, but did that dude have like a PA in his car? Because no one was holding any speakers. He was just talking into a CB radio. I was like, what's going on?
It is something like, because we weren't there, we don't know. And that's the thing with the hazing. It's like, yeah, it's uncomfortable, and I think it's supposed to be.
Big part of that first chunk. And like, I get why, but like Ben Affleck's character is just like obsessed.
Oh yeah, and that's why he ends up, like they say in this first scene, like, I can't believe he flunked his senior year just so he could do this again.
Mm-hmm.
Like he literally got held back a year just so he could do the hazing thing one more time. It's like, what a loser. Yeah. And he gets this comeuppance. What a wonderful scene.
I know, it is pretty great that he died.
That kid that he was going to hit in that moment, little blonde-haired kid, he looked so familiar. He looked like one of the kids from Seventh Heaven, it wasn't.
He looks like Draco to me.
Yeah.
Like a nice Draco.
Yeah.
All skinny, short, young, blonde-haired boys look the same.
Yeah.
They all do. They all do.
Are we maybe referring to a specific blonde-haired, short, skinny boy,
Actually, he does fit into that a little bit.
Yeah, they all look the same.
But like that hairstyle and like super skinny, it's like, yeah, it does look like Draco Malfoy. Tom Felton, I think is that.
Yeah, I love Tom Felton.
It's like the younger son on Seventh Heaven. I've only seen a little bit of Seventh Heaven from my childhood, and it's like, is that the Seventh Heaven kid? And it's like, no, it's not. Who is this kid? Why have I seen him before? And I looked, nothing.
He just has that face.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's great. And I was gonna say that was the last thing. The last line. Oh my god! It was the I came here to kick ass and drink beer, and I'm all out of beer.
Is that where that originated?
That's what I was. I'm guessing that's where that originated, but could be right.
Because the one I'm familiar with is I'm here to kick ass and take names.
I feel like that's the original thing, this is just a spin on it.
Bubble gum and. Right, isn't it something like that? I'm here.
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like this has been reiterated so many times.
But of course, the two most memorable lines come from Wooderson.
Oh yeah,
and it's the
it's the second line, isn't it? That
it's like his second scene. He's far away. It's just all right. And that's where that whole thing with his persona comes from.
That's so amazing that it was his. It wasn't his like his second line. Is that what you said? Like,
well, he has a whole conversation in the car before that straight on shot, and then they cut to the parking lot, and he's all right.
It was right away too.
Like that. I was like, oh man,
you might be right. So before the podcast, Jared and I were having a discussion about what Matthew McConaughey's like most famous quote is, and I was arguing that it might be the other one. That's the thing about high school girls. They say this. I get older, and they stay the same age because that's the one I'm used to hearing. Because seeing you react like that tells me that all right.
That's the McConaughey line.
I remember I was reading I have the Criterion, and I was reading the booklet after I watched it, just because it's like I'm wrapping my head around this a lot better the second time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna read some more on it, and like just there's like this tragic like feeling to some of these characters, and nothing like actually tragic, but like this, like they're kind of he's like kind of like this. He's kind of a loser.
Yeah, well, he
doesn't do anything. He hangs out with high schoolers in the woods.
I think that's
doesn't do, and that's the point. Yeah. I'm saying like that's like. He appears cool to them, and when you're watching this through a younger lens, it's like, oh, He's the cool older like college age kid. Then you watch it now and you're like, this guy's a loser.
It's so interesting how
he really is.
And I would be, and
it took me.
I really wish that I watched this as a kid and watched it now to see my own perspective change, because that's interesting.
You mean like as a high schooler, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw your face there. Was like, wait, as a kid? No, yeah, like because to look at this as a kid and think like, oh man, McConaughey, yeah, he's the cool guy, man. He's riding around, he's smoking in his car. He
does
cool
that thing
dude. He does that.
He reminds me of a little bit. There's this guy in one of my community college classes that he is probably on something every day, or he's just
Something different every day?
Probably. He it's like in this classroom, it was the double wide tables, right?
Okay.
So you could fit 2 people, and they were pushed together. A unit of 4.
Sure.
And he was across from me, and I'm just minding my own business, and I look up, and he's just kind of doing this, just like if you see the kid.
His eyes barely open.
Hey.
And he talked to me, and he talked like this. It really, it's like a duck. I just want to shoot him.
How does your voice sound like that?
And there was one. Here we go. I get to get crass.
We're getting.
He had this big dopey smile, and I just did my usual like like that, and then he thought it was funny in his state, so he'd just go. What a moron!
Listeners,
Why is that crass?
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
Oh.
So then he looks at me one day, and I just kind of go, okay. I'm like, what? He goes, I'm happy today. And I go, oh, I'm going to get laid tonight. And I'm just like, I don't care. Why are you telling? I don't even remember your name. And I just kind of,
Were you talking to Matthew McConaughey in this class?
And then there's no way that's a real person.
I remember it was like 2 weeks before class ended, and our teacher literally said, if you do this, today, if you skip the test today, you can go home now, but then you have to come in on exam day and take the exam. But if you take this test today and you pass, that's the same grade you get on your exam, and you can be done. And I go, okay. And this is easy. It's one of those like intro to college courses. It's easy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I'll sit here. I'll get like a 90-something because everyone passes this test. And then I don't have to be here on exam day. I'm done.
Oh, yeah, I would love to do that.
And he started putting his stuff away. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I go home, get drunk. I go, why don't you just take the test now for, like the 20 minutes it will take you, and then you don't have to take. No, I'd rather just do it later. Like, okay, well, on exam day, I'm probably gonna walk by this room, and I'm gonna wave to you. And he goes, okay. And he leaves. So exam day comes. I walk by the room, and I stop, and there he is, and he looks up, and I just kind of go, and then walk away. And that guy, he did not look happy in there. I go, you moron.
Can you just
this guy was
out of the way,
but like
so you can party on later.
Now it's funny. Like now, take that guy. Make him less of a moron and actually like looking cool to someone younger, and that's McConaughey's character. In a way, like it's just this like dazed person.
Hey, he said the thing.
But that's the thing about McConaughey's character. It's like that's the perspective for it, because it's like I'm not that age anymore, but I was in college, not super long ago, and it's like, yeah, that'd be weird if I was hanging out with a bunch of high schoolers, like that.
Yeah.
Who said he was in college?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's not in college, like college age.
I thought he said he
tried or something and is not going back or something. Mm-hmm. And then the most important thing to him, of course, is getting Aerosmith tickets.
I did. God, that's going back, man. This soundtrack. Does this exist? Like I want to own this soundtrack on like vinyl or something. Like this would be such a cool record to have.
Probably.
Oh, God, I want that so bad.
Dickey. So wait, Jake, did you ever have a party at your house?
Yeah.
Oh, so you both have had parties at your house.
Oh yeah.
Except my parents didn't come home and catch me. So
my parents didn't catch
me.
They
didn't come home and catch him. They hadn't left yet, and the beer guy came. So in your perspective, you order a bunch of kegs somehow, because of course the laws changed.
Oh,
I think
right.
Back then it was 18.
Yeah, I think
somewhere around there. I think within a couple years of when the movie takes place, they changed it to 21. I think my dad said like,
I think
he said. I could drink, and then like 2 years later, I couldn't drink, and then like a year after that, I could drink again.
Yeah.
But he doesn't drink at all, so it didn't matter.
That's so funny.
But like, imagine you, Jake and Dickey. Imagine you guys. You plan this party at your house, and you order a bunch of kegs, and the beer guy comes like an hour early, and your parents haven't left yet.
Well, first off, I wouldn't be that stupid. I probably would have said it for the next day after they left.
But the party's that night.
Ample time.
No, the party's that they're leaving
I would have
the day.
set the party for the next day after they left. That's what I'm saying. That's his crucial.
You're
mistake.
putting way too much logic into this, Dickey.
As somebody who's, I don't know if I should be putting this out there, as somebody who's had parties at
How many?
I'm not going to say that.
So in those sitcoms, when the party happens, the place is trashed, and you have to quick clean up before mom and dad get home. Has that happened to you? No, because you plan this out.
You get this. You get it done way ahead of time.
And they never figured it out
I'm sure
in the
they
moment, or they did know.
I'm sure they knew.
My parents didn't know until I told them like 2 years ago.
Oh, what did they think of that?
I mean, that's like 20 years ago at this point. So
I've seen plenty of sitcoms to know that if you tell them, they get very upset.
It's like 20 years ago now. What are they going to do?
At this point, like, what's going to happen?
Was it kind of like, oh, you did?
Yeah.
Thought so.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's like, yeah, I figured.
The only thing that they were upset about was the road cone in the pond. Which I may have lied and told them that someone just put it there to play a prank on me.
So your dad's like, why is there a road cone in the pond? And you're just like, I don't know.
Yep, that is very much how it went.
Were your parties a success?
I only really had one.
Oh, my.
But it was 2 weeks long, so.
What? You had a 2-week party?
Pretty much.
So people just came in and out?
My parents were in Spain. The person watching me was my cousin, and he didn't care.
Oh, man.
So it'd be like there'd be some hours or maybe chunks of days that no one was there.
It'd be like the thing where I'd wake up and look out my slider door, and there my friend be with 3 or 4 people. They'd come, and we'd, be there for 5-6 hours. They'd leave and come back with more people. That type of thing.
Nice. That sounds like, yeah. I mean, dang, I never had 2-week-long parties. But
what were Alex Dickey parties like?
We want to really get into that. So
this is about party.
Late.
We have to tell them about our party experiences.
Right.
And since I have none, you guys have to fill up that.
Let's do it. So my good friend Nick at one of my house parties. I'm throwing you out there, Nick. Yeah. Hi, Nick. He had quite a bit to drink. And we had a pool. We had a pool at this time in the backyard. And
you had a pool?
Yeah, there was a pool.
Warren.
Oh my God.
Dude, my house has a pool too.
Yeah. We're picking on him, not you.
Oh, okay. Rich boy.
Oh my God. And so he got really excited about the pool, and he ran out and started swimming around in circles just nonstop. And from there, he really given his nickname. It annoyed him at one point. He called him Fishy. Oh my God, it was really fun.
Fishy.
Yep, from there. And
should have just called him like Gil or something.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, one of my old friends, he almost lit my house on fire.
How did he manage that? You can't bring that up and not explain.
So there was a dish towel on the stove with
It's a gas stove.
It's a gas stove and it had like pots and stuff on there drying over the towel. That's just how my mom had it set up. And my old buddy, he backed into the stove, and he
caught on fire.
He didn't catch on fire, but the towel did.
And
who
was there to save the day?
We all the time like, oh my God! Well, the worst part, this idiot just ran downstairs and didn't say anything. And so all of a sudden I look over and was like, oh my God, that's a fire. And so I had to run over. I just grabbed it by the edge, just threw it in the sink and sprayed it down and it's thrown away because not going to salvage a burnt towel.
Oh.
So,
you can't keep that. They'll know something happened.
Exactly. They'll know something happened. So I had to get rid of it.
Don't forget that one incident.
Which one are you referring to?
What your friend said. A certain a side of you they had never seen.
No.
That's as far as we
side is an interesting way to put that.
We're talking about some things, not everything on this podcast.
Okay, that's as far. You can fill in the blanks.
By the way,
his namesake lived up to itself that day.
All right, yeah. No, we're gonna.
So there are two parts.
On that note, anything else about?
He's trying to talk.
There are two parts to the Dazed and Confused soundtrack on vinyl.
That's right. I did read that. I forgot about that.
I want. Oh my gosh. Oh, I want that.
That top one is $66. That bottom one is $31.
Did you watch with Sam, by the way?
No, but she would like this.
I was gonna say because
she would like this movie.
That's her type of music, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like she'd really like this.
Yeah, she lived up and grew on music.
Lived up and grew on music?
Yeah, that's definitely not the right way of phrasing.
You.
Yeah. But no. Yeah.
I did. I will say, I found it more because how many movies you have the very cliquey groups that kind of separate. This is just everyone meshed together, which I feel like is probably more realistic to most people's thing. Because you had the stoner character hanging out with the jocks because they smoke weed together.
Yeah, which you want to know what I'm so
the nerds go to the party and they're accepted like everyone else.
I'm so happy you said that because you reminded me of something that I wanted to say.
Yeah.
You know what this gave me vibes of?
What?
This was a 1970s version of Freaks and Geeks. Have you ever seen that show?
I've seen parts of it.
Jake, have you ever seen Freaks and Geeks?
It came out in the same decade as Freaks and Geeks. So.
That makes a lot of sense.
It almost takes, because Freaks and Geeks is in 79 or 80 because John Bonham dies in episode 3 because Jason Segel's John Bonham died and he's all sad and that's 1979, 1980.
Yeah.
So a couple years after this movie takes place.
Yeah, it gave me the same exact, it just the different cliques but all coming together because they like to smoke and drink together. That's that. I feel like that was such a high school thing, and just remembering that is just kind of that was with back in high school.
Yeah. Did both of you see Mila Jovovich in this movie then? Mm-hmm. Yep, that was oh, she's in this too.
I forgot. I forgot that I really remember. Oh yeah, she is in.
Yeah. I was oh, I forgot she was in this completely because there's so many faces. You're who is that? They look familiar, but that one was oh, I know exactly who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, and I was telling Jake also, Adam Goldberg always cracks me up in his movie, even if he's not playing a comedic character.
That part where he dumps the beer on the
that's a great scene.
I was waiting for that to boil over the entire movie.
Because he's just
himself to boil over the entire movie. He's
just this skulky, angry young man, but he's it's he's never actually going to do anything. You think, and then he makes a passing statement, and I go, "Oh man, that hits close because that's what I do." Is you're walking by and you make a snide remark about these potheads, and then one of them takes offense to it, and he's like, "Oh crap!" And then later he gets so mad that he gets the crap beat out of him.
Oh, it's so great.
But it's pretty wonderful. Just him dump it because he's oh yeah, that guy. So yeah, Adam Goldberg made it pretty fun.
He was fantastic in this.
Yeah, a lot of cars too. Just it's just whereas American Graffiti comes out in the early 70s and it's about the early 60s.
I think that was the third thing that I wrote down on my notes was I love a good car chase.
Who was it? I don't even know if he had a name because I think he's only in the one scene. The dude that Matthew McConaughey is talking to his car about. He's like, "Come on, dude! I know you got this out of the back of a comic book." I laughed so hard. Yeah.
With the American Graffiti thing, it's these two are a great double feature because Dazed and Confused is the first day of summer, going into some going into high school, some going into their final year of high school, and that whole thing. Lots of cars driving around, killer soundtrack. And then you look at American Graffiti, and it's also looking back at a time. And then American Graffiti is looking back on the 60s, and it's the last day of summer, and it's before all the characters are going to college, and there's a lot of driving and a killer sound. They complement each other very well.
Yeah.
While American Graffiti is a lot pulpier, it's a lot more of a crowd-pleasing type movie. It made a ton of money. And then Dazed and Confused is that indie comedy, hangout movie more. You know what I mean? They're very similar, but also very different. And I'd like to watch them back to back someday.
That'd be a really, really good double feature.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. On that note, is there anything else you guys want to mention about Dazed and Confused?
I think I got everything.
All right. Well, this has been a party. This has been a good time. And if you want the good times to continue and not to feel hungover, you should check out our social medias. Jared, where can they follow us?
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, the funny TikTok, and Twitter if it's still a thing. You listen to us on Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and hey, here on YouTube, if you're watching, like, subscribe, comment, ring our bell, make sure you rate and, rate and comment on all those other thingies.
Absolutely, yeah.
And our website.
It's
groovy.
It is pretty cool. All right, so with all that, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We have more awesome content coming your way very soon. Check us out here every Tuesday and Thursday. So from all of us here at All Slate Media, thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.